right now, without further ado, I want to introduce the person that you guys are here for, that you're waiting for, and that's Nadja Vanterpool. Nadja is a wig specialist and professional hairstylist. Um, she serves as a wig consultant with Coils to Locs. She has expertise in wigs and in wig making, as well as hairstyling. She's a senior stylist at GTO Spa Salon in Boston. And she has an incredible background, having earned her cosmetology certificate in 2017, but she's been doing hair all of her life, according to Nadja. And without further ado, I introduce to you Nadja Vanterpool.
Well, thank you. Thank you for welcoming me. Again, my name is Nadja Vanterpool. I am a senior stylist at G2O Spa Salon. Um, like Pam has said, I've been doing hair all my life, and I actually started making wigs, I want to say a good 10 years ago. It was just like a need and a want. And it was just like a hobby for me. I never, thought I would be in this role here, being an expert in wigs and wig making and things like that. So that being said, we are going to jump right in and talk about locks to coils. And a big aha moment for me and the CEO. We met in my chair, but not expecting us to be like a team. So we conversed, we chatted. I had a long consultation with her just to be sure I'm giving her what she wanted and needed. And I guess in that experience alone, she found the knowledge that I have and cared about for individuals going through their own journey with hair loss and what things to make it correct and what things to do going forward. So we exchanged personal cards. And then when she handed me the card to Locs to Coils, I thought I was in candid camera. Um, and I was expecting Ashton Kutcher to come out. And I was like, am I being tested? But I am so grateful to these ladies to have started this company, which is a huge need for our sister girls, because you go to a lot of wigs and a lot of wig companies and all they have is straight hair. It's blonde, it doesn't look right on us. It's just like, it's not who we are. For them to see outside of that and to brand a brand for women that has curly hair from all different generations and backgrounds of curly. And it's a wide span to Latinos, to Blacks, to mixed cultures. And, we're spread in so many ways. So we're just going to jump right in. Locs to Coils has.
I'm gonna jump right, Nadja. I'm gonna jump right in there because I know you know the name of our business.
Yeah, okay.
And you keep saying locks to coils, but it's coils to locks, everybody.
Coils to Locs, oh my God. Oh
She's
my
been working
God.
with us forever, guys. I don't
Well,
know.
I got blocks.
I don't know why she's
I
converting it, but
know. I'm converting you guys. Okay, no.
that's
Coils to
okay.
Locks. Thank you. Thank you for jumping in because I would have been saying that all day. Coils to Locks. Coils to
That's
Locks.
hysterical. Okay, take it away.
So we have high quality, I must say, synthetic hair wig. The wigs are very, well made, well put together, various of different styles. Um, the things you need to know about synthetic versus human hair is that synthetic, you can't really dye it. There's things you don't want to do to alter the actual pattern of wig style that you get. You have to definitely gently handle it. I do not suggest brushing it unless states otherwise by the directions of the wig itself. Brushing it could alter the pattern and the style that you have chosen. Um, so that being said, human hair wigs are more, you can dye them, you can kind of do a lot more to it, especially depending on the quality of human hair that it is, if it's virgin hair, and they are a lot more expensive. And I know I addressed my concerns about people that have like permanent alopecia where they want a wig that is just going to be for them and the longevity and of them doing more things to it. It would have to be like a human hair wig, but again, that comes with a price, and it is not, it is something we are looking into in the future of Coils Deluxe. And but these synthetic wigs that they have here are great. I got to sit with these two wonderful women, and they displayed all of them to me, and they were awesome. The next thing we're going to be talking about is the quality. Like I said, it's great quality, and it's all how you handle the hair. When you get your wig, and I'm going to demonstrate in a minute, like you don't want to, even with your own natural hair, this is something you don't want to do to the wig. You want to handle it with care. You want to separate the pieces with your fingers. Um, the quality is great as long as you're caring for it like at a careful level. Like you have to be very careful for it. So some people don't know the size of their head and what um, what size their head is and if these wigs are gonna fit or not. These are average size wigs. And if you had a question, if it was too big, they are adjustable and you would have to stitch in the adjustable adjustments that comes with the wig. And I will show you that in a second. But I know there are some that address that. They have smaller heads. And if you're not sure, you can always put into the comments that this is my head size. And basically what you would do to measure your head, you get some measuring tape, put it like right here, like on the top of your ear, and wrap it all the way around. And the reason why we're putting it on our forehead is because when the wigs are made, it's made like this. So when you take it off, this is the circumference of your head and what the wig will be. So my head is about 28 inches. So that being said, most of the wigs are in that category. So any of these wigs would fit me perfectly. But that's just so that you know how to measure your head. If you have any questions on is there a specific size or wig that you can order or that will suit you. So now I am going to open my first wig I got from Locs Coil Select. It comes in this nice bag. It's this bag is reusable for wig storage. It's silk based, so it won't alter the fibers of the hair. So this is something you do not want to throw away. A lot of companies don't provide this, so this is a plus with our company. So next you get it in another bag, which you can take out, and they come with a wig cap. And these wig caps are very important for any women that has like really short hair, or even if you're bald, it's just to protect your skin from any wig cap irritation or anything like that. So now we got our wig, and I know there are these adjustable pieces inside that I said you can sew in to make the wig fit you. And this is our wig. And when you take it out the bag, basically gently run your fingers through the curls, shake it, put your hand in the cap, shake it out a bit. You don't want to, again, brush it or comb it. You just want to just take your fingers and break it apart and make it nice and fluffy. So now you take your wig cap, open that up, and I'm just going to stand right here for a second. And she put it on your head. And then tuck your ears out of it. Oh, this mannequin has good ears. Her ears are actually not glued to the skin of it. And pull it up to where you think your hairline is. Pull her off so that you can see. And if you have long hair, you can tuck it into the cap. And if you have shorter hair, you don't have to worry about this part, but tuck it right in. And having braids underneath if you have longer hair is very helpful, just so that your hair is out the way and nothing comes out. So the next thing is to grab your wig, and Coils selects make it very easy to find where the front of the wig is. You have these gripping mechanisms around the whole base of the wig except for the very top. So that very top piece is your front and center. So you take that, you put it on, grip it, and again, you don't want to comb the wig. You just want to style it with your fingers. And gentle taps goes a long way with curly hair, whether it's your own personal curls or wig curls. It goes a very long way in styling it. And here she goes. And the wind is going to blow her hair around. She's going to want to dance all night. But that's all you do. You can tuck behind the ear. And sometimes people are like, oh my goodness, it's too much curls. There's tricks you can do to take two of these and put a clip right here and just style it and make it your own. There she is. There. Here she is. All right, next thing, the importance of a wig cap. I'm gonna review. Like some people's like, oh, I'm bald, I don't need a wig cap. This and that. Our hair, depending on the longevity of the baldness or the alopecia, or whether it's chemo, or these are things you still want to keep in mind, that your hair is still underneath the baldness. There is still room for growth. What you don't want to do is alter any skin that's there, keeping your head always moisturized at all times. And again, just having a plain wig cap on the head can present like it could be itchy, it could be irritating, but the second you get in the car, you want to rip it off. You don't want to feel that way. The cap is to protect your head and hair at all times. So it's very important to know that. Um, and last but not least, we talked a little bit about styling the wigs and using your fingers at all times. Next, we're going to talk about tricks and practices for the wigs and at home care when you have them. So when you take them off, and treat this hair like it's your own hair. Most people with curly hair does not wash their hair every day. And if you do, you need to come see me and tell me why. Because you shouldn't be washing your hair every day. So to wash one of these wigs, we're not gonna wash like this. We're not gonna like be rough with it. Basically, you're gonna wet it down with cool water and as cold as your hands can handle. I'm not saying it has to be ice bucket challenge cool, but cool. And basically lather some shampoo on your hands and then rubbing it in, rubbing it in, rubbing it in, rubbing it in. Wet it down again, lather it up, and then scrunching the shampoo in, just like that. Just not altering the curls, not messing it up and going like this and not washing it like it's clothes. You still have to be gentle with it for the longevity of it. And on the inside as well, since it's people do sweat, you can flip it inside out. Again, wetting it with cool water and just rubbing it down with shampoo. Again, you don't want to comb it, don't want to alter the curls or the pattern of the wig you've chosen. Another thing you want to do is, even though it's synthetic hair, you still want to put conditioner on it. You still want to condition it and moisturize it because it will, you still want it to hold a little bit of a shine. And so after you rinse it, they basically rub in the conditioner. And what is even easier, if you have a leave-in spray conditioner, that's even easier. You just spray it all over and then hang your wig to dry. But again, you don't want to alter the curls. But if you don't have a spray conditioner, do the same thing, putting a little conditioner, rubbing it in on the hair, and then rinsing it gently with cold water. So for it to, people asked about like putting product on it. There's no wrong or right reason of putting product, but if you do put product on it, be very sparingly with the product. It's not something that needs to hold a lot of product. But with a synthetic wig, all you need is something that holds moisture, like a moisture cream, literally a dime size, rubbing it in your hands and like gently doing this number to the wig. And then same thing with oil would be another product you can use like this. And if you have a piece that's being really stubborn and trying, it's not that same curl and it's doing its own thing, you can literally put the product on your fingertips and just twirling that curl back into shape. And even though that these are synthetic, they still have the memory of the way they were styled, and it will revert back to that way more than likely. So that is it. Any other things I should add? Am I missing anything?
So one of the, we can jump into questions, but one of the things that I know we've heard from individuals who reach out directly to us is how do you combat frizz and how do you basically revitalize a wig?
So basically revitalizing it, it needs a light wash. Putting light product on it, and again, not just following the pattern of the wig. This wig is really, really curly. So just like literally using your fingertips to revitalize that individual curl. And just to eliminate frizz is just being absolute sure that they're not combing it, they're not brushing it. I mean, this this hair, if you were to comb it or brush it out, it would be a gorgeous afro. But if that's the look you're going for, yeah, yeah, that's something you can do. But if it's something you want to keep intact, you want to keep it how it came out of the package, because then you're completely altering the weight of the wig, and it will be frizzy, and it will be a little bit more difficult to deal with, just like our hair. If we brush it out or not comb it properly, we have a frizzy, fluffy mess, and it's hard to get it back to where we want it to. It takes work.
Good information. Can you speak to um, sleeping in the wig or getting in the pool, that sort of thing? People want to do
Oh,
that with their wig, if that's an
okay.
idea or not.
Yes. Oh, okay. So swimming. Okay. Swimming in wigs. It's, I want to say it's not, it's frowned upon, but it's not impossible. If you have, there are these awesome turban swim caps you can put on over the wig, and if you want to be really cute, hang out a couple curls. But you got to worry about the thing floating off your head, because you're working against just not only regular gravity, ocean or water gravity. It it will pull and makes the wig heavier, and it might lift off your head. So if that's the case, I it's, again, it's not impossible. You can swim in the wigs, but know that you would have to like rinse it very thoroughly right after and condition it. Don't you don't necessarily have to wash it, because chlorine and seawater has salt and it cleanses it already. Just rinse, 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 cold water, and just little conditioner, a little product just to restore the wig. But I wouldn't swim in it. Sleeping with wigs, depending on the situation, again, frowned upon, but not impossible. Just know that if you sleep with any type of hair, you're not gonna wake up with that same hair. It's going to be bedhead. You're definitely going to have to refluff out, restyle, remake it. It's just making your job a little harder in the morning. But and I'm not talking about like a quick nap on the couch or whatever. You'll be fine with going like this. But if you're in a deep, like your regular 8 to 10 hour sleep night, you know, it's not necessary, but if you had to, you just know that you have to take the extra time in your day to wake up to style your wig.
And I would think that that would affect somehow, if you're sleeping in a wig for 8 to 10 hours, how that might affect your your hair underneath or your scalp, or cause,
Yes,
would that
yes.
cause damage in any kind of way?
Um, yes, it can cause damage because if you're if you're flipping your head back and forth, the wig is also doing one of these numbers. And but one thing I do like about these wigs, they have the grip, so they might not slide too often, but it's adding unnecessary tension to your core hairline. And just having that tension while you sleep, it's, it won't be, if it's a long-term wig wearer, it will cause more damage than like something short term. But you just want to always be protecting your edges and your hairline at all times, whether you're bald, have alopecia, whatever your case is. Sleeping in it could just add a little tension, especially if you sleep and a piece of the wig goes under your armpit and then you're like, it's pulling at, that rubber is rubbing against, even though you have a cap on, it's still tighter on that end. So it is rubbing against your hairline, and then this is like rubbing back and forth. So like just basically it's just like combing your hair out. It's the least amount of tension as possible would be best.
So one more topic that I'd like for you to talk about before we jump into the questions. We do have a few questions. Is a conversation that we had, as you mentioned, I've been in your chair. Uh,
Mhm.
you are a miracle worker in terms of trimming my hair and all of that good stuff. So thank you. But we talked about the fact that it's not healthy to wear a wig all of the time.
Yeah.
And we recognize that as people, who own a business that's selling wigs, that you have to give yourself a break. Can you talk more about your thoughts around that and why that's important?
Okay. So wigs are a form of traction to the head. Any type of traction to a part of your body that has growing mechanisms, like our skin constantly regrow skin if we have a bruise. So our hair is constantly really trying to grow out. So you have to get on the bottom line of seeing a dermatologist in your hair loss journey and what that looks like for you in the future. So what I was saying to Diane is, when you're in the process of buying wigs, is this going to be a short-term thing? Is this going to be a long-term thing? And if you're somewhere in between, just know that wigs do add a number of traction to the hair, and it kind of fools the follicles, and our hair needs a certain amount of air for it to formulate properly, to grow out properly. So long-term wig wearing could be problematic. Um, However, you would have to speak with your physician or doctor on where you're at with that. But also always protecting your skin, always hydrating your skin. There's also scalp facials that you can do to exfoliate the scalp and the follicles in your scalp area so that your hair will go back to growing. So um, just basically being aware that um, where you're at with the journey. For most chemo clients that I've had in my chair, some people's hair has grown back. Like I want to say at least, well, a lot of my clients, their hair grew back. Whether it grew back the way it was, No. I mean, everybody had like a different texture. Some I had very few, a handful that had the exact same texture as before. So they had to relearn how to take care of their hair. However, wigs are not for everybody, but they are useful in certain situations where women, they feel like, something was taken from them, and it's a way of, um, not a permanent fix, but like a temporary fix. It makes you feel better about yourself, and then it makes you feel good that you can even change it up. Like something you really never did with your own personal hair, you can do with a wig, to just change it up a bit. But so just know where you're at with um where your hair growth is. Pay attention to that. If you know that there's an area like you might have had, in Diane's case, she had like super thick hair all her life, but she knows in a certain area of her hair, it doesn't grow the same. So you have to treat that area different. So just kind of pay attention to what your hair is and what your journey is and where you want to be, and have a goal. Am I going to do this for the rest of my life? Because I have some people that they wear wigs and they have tremendous amount of hair underneath that wig, but they're doing what they do at home. They're still self caring their own hair, but they just love the wig game, and they'll never stray from that.
Thank you, Nasha. I think we can start jumping into the Q&A. I know we have some questions both in the chat and the Q&A. So maybe we can start with the chat, because I think that's where people put a few questions in early on. Let's see. Someone asked, are wigs full wigs? And we do, all of our wigs are full wigs. And
What
then
about what about the cap that has the side pieces? Is that considered full?
that would be like, well, thank you, Nadja, because I'm thinking with Lily wigs. Are Kimmy caps, which are hats with hair, where we have wigs that are, we have braids and dreadlocks, full locks sewn into the hat, that we named in honor of our sister, Kimberly, who went by Kimmy, who early on when we were at the beginning of this business, really loved those caps. So someone asked, Nadja, can you wear wigs over your locks?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The longer your locks get, the harder it is, and you have a bulkiness. But if I was to wear a wig, I would probably put my hair in a tight ponytail and like wrap it up in a wig cap like this. But you can absolutely wear wigs over locks. If your locks my hair is a little finer, so I can get away with it. I actually wore a wig for Halloween, so I was myself with straight hair. So you could absolutely do it, but it depends on the density of your hair, and the longer the wig is, the better, the curlier, the even more better.
And I'll jump in there and speak to that as well, because I had locks for almost 10 years. And my background is as a professional actress. So I was always wearing wigs. So I used to either flat braid them down, and I have fine hair like you as well. But I would flat braid them down, or I would do that wrap thing and pin it, put that wig cap on, and go. So it's doable if you have locks.
Yeah, it seems like it would depend on your hair density, how thick your hair is, how long your locks are. So it must vary from person to person.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so the next question I see in the chat, okay, someone's asking, do we have short wigs, especially short afro wigs? We do have, I would say, two short styles. Our Jasmine is really popular. That has more of a curl to it. And then we have our ebony wig. I don't know how short you mean, but those would be our shortest styles if you look on the website. And then we have some more styles that'll be coming in a few months as well.
And this is the ebony wig.
Someone asked what the wig was that you had originally displayed, which is the Clio wig, which is the wig that we sell on our e-commerce site. So our wigs, we have a special line of hospital wigs just for our hospital vendors and patients. So the styles are different than the styles on our e-commerce store as well. They have more exclusive styles that range from, short to long and different textures as well.
Someone's asking, can you demonstrate the process for applying the applying the elastic to adjust the wig size? Example, how to measure elastic length, where/how to sew the elastic, and how to put on the wig with the new elastic in.
Yay! All right. Put her to the side. So basically sewing on the band, you want to flip your wig inside out. Let's see. So basically, I like this option here because this could reach over and make anything tighter when you sew on this option here. So basically, I usually tell people to use their ears as a measurement. And I am just gonna go, and usually your ears is probably like 4 fingers from your like sideburns. So you place the front of the wig is where the shiny parts aren't, the grippable methods. So place 4 fingers from that part, and that should lead you to your ear. You then place the first piece of your wig adjustable strap. And I already have a needle set up because if I was doing that live and in person, it would have took forever. And you don't have to be a great sewer. You just take, and I'm just gonna do like maybe 3 or 4 stitches just so that it's on there. And you want to go around the whole thing. And if it's just for like just in case you have to loosen it back up, you don't want to go crazy with the sewing. So I just literally did 2 stitches on each corner that fast, just to sew that first piece on. So that's on there. So I did 2 stitches here, 2 stitches here, 2 stitches there.
Nadja, is that the nape of the neck where you stitch?
That's basically right behind your ear. So the top nape of your head where, and if you go like all the way across, that's where your occipital bone is. So right there. So you don't want to do it too close down to the neck. And I'll tell you why in a second. Because these straps the other straps are pretty long. And if I went to the nape of the neck, when I sew on Oh, where is it? This piece to the nape of the neck, I won't have no pull. So you want to make sure this piece like hooks on. And that's another reason why you don't want to go too tight on the stitching, because you could adjust it. And so basically I'm making the wig smaller. I don't know if you guys see that dent. And this piece should be sewn on. And if you look, I have 4 fingers here, 4 fingers here, and that's the back of my other ear. And that just tightens it up right there. So then I'm gonna sew this piece on, just like a couple quick stitches. And if you feel that you need to go closer behind the ear, just use your ear as a guide to where you want to put it. You can do it on the corners of the nape, but like I would say the back of the ear is ideal so that you have a nice snugger fit if you have a smaller head.
So basically the back of the ear on each side, that only it's right here and then here.
Right.
Is so that the band sort of hits
Exactly.
back area.
And my whole thing is, you see how I attached it? So that's, this is the excess room that I needed. So I attached the wig clips first, and now I'm sewing it on. And let me do one more stitch just for demo purposes.
So I would just say as a reminder, these bands are optional. It's not like you need to use them if you don't need them for, our wigs or any wig for that matter, but it's available for someone who might want a tighter fit. And it only took you a couple of minutes, it looked like.
Yeah, just a couple minutes. And then try it on. Say this, I think this is my favorite piece because it just doesn't have too much going on. But this, like, say you just don't want to measure, you don't want to do anything. This has more adjustable grips. You can sew this piece on because it has more. You can make it tighter, you can make it looser, you can, you have more of a better situation with this one. And also, no, that wouldn't work. But so when you do it and you sewed it on and you loosened it, this is how tight your wig will fit now. So usually when you sew it on, while it's already connected, it gives you a guide, and you see how it shrunk the wig down. So now it's a better fit. And I'll bring her back. She has a pretty small head. And now this wig is pretty much not going anywhere. Pulling at it, and it's just real snug. Back here is a little bit of a bevel, but it adds actually it's functional because nobody can see where that bubble is. She can probably feel it a little bit, but you can't really see it. But you have your strap there that made it tighter, and you see the looseness of this back, but the bands are making it tighter.
Thank you. So I
You're
think we
welcome.
have more questions and we still have that drawing to do. You have to be with us to be entered in the drawing. So let's just get to the last two questions and then maybe go right to the drawing. We have, I don't know if this is a second question about what is the name of the unit you were showing us? And is it available for purchase? We're showing both the ebony, this is the ebony that's showing now, and then the Clio was the last one. Someone has asked or is stating that they were recently, or they just got diagnosed with CCCA alopecia. She just cut her hair to a low fade. Is it better to wear a stocking cap under a wig?
Absolutely.
This is also an alopecia related type of question. So I thought it might be good to add this to the mix as well. Before I was diagnosed with alopecia areata, I was getting perms and my hairdresser was not aware of the alopecia signs. I had substantial hair loss and perm burns on my scalp. I only wear wigs out in public, but never while at home or sleeping. Is that okay in protecting my scalp?
So I would say still continue to moisturize your scalp is very important. Buying products to do scalp facials on yourself is very important. I know we offer them at the salon. However, if you feel like it's very simple, it could be done at home, just exfoliating, but wearing a wig cap is still just as important, just to keep your scalp safe and your hair that's potentially trying to grow out safe as well.
And looks like we have time for one more question. And we only have one more question. So it's, do you ever design half wigs or hair pieces? Not as yet. The closest that we have to a half wig is our Kimmy caps, because it's, a hat and then the hair. But we are continuing to look at ways to expand our business. As I'd like to share with people who may not be aware, this business was started based on my lived experience as like a cancer patient who lost all of my hair due to chemotherapy, and then just decided, when I learned that there was a systemic issue in terms of me not being able to find a wig that looked like my hair in medical hair loss spaces, I wanted to start a business. And I pulled my sister Pamela in because she's the youngest and I'm the oldest, and I'm bossy and she didn't have a choice. So no, she willingly joined. But all of that to say, we started this business as a grassroots effort. But the business is beginning to grow, we're beginning to expand, and we're hearing and listening to our customers. And as this business is growing, we will be expanding into more wig styles, sizes, colors, all of the above. So we hope you'll join us on this journey and sign up for our email list just to see what's going on with us. But that's a sort of a long-winded way to answer your question, but thank you.
I know, I'm sorry I cut you off, but follow us on social media. That's another way to stay abreast of what's going on and what we're doing. Coils to Locs Wigs on Instagram, Coils to Locs everywhere else. And yeah, we're growing, and we hear your questions and get your feedback on what everyone likes and loves, and we plan on adding to our styles as we grow.
Nadja Vanterpool, thank you so much. I put her information, we encourage you to follow her on Instagram. I'll put that in the chat one more time. I know I did it earlier today. Nadja is, as she mentioned, a senior stylist at G2O Salon here in Boston, where she does everything from natural hair, blowouts, braids, faux locks. She is like a miracle worker. And if you are in the Boston area and you're looking for a a stylist, definitely check Nadja out at G20 Salon.
Appreciate it.
Yep, and be sure to go over and follow Kim Roxy at Lamique Beauty. She's always doing fabulous things. Let her know Coils to Locs says hello. And yeah, thank you guys for coming. We really appreciate it. I hope you learned a lot.
Thank you.